coming right there.
All right, hey everybody, welcome back to Tactical Rifleman. We're back down in the TR studio. We got our Bucked Up sponsor again tonight. Bucked Up, if you guys aren't familiar with them, you go to buckedup.com. They do post and pre-workout supplements. They got energy bars, all kinds of stuff. But the thing that's cool now that they got, that I think you guys are really going to dig, is they've got energy drinks, kind of like Monsters or Red Bulls, but it's called Bucked Up Energy. Go figure, right? But they got a couple. Strawberry kiwi, I think, is my favorite so far. They got a bunch of other flavors. I'm leaning towards strawberry kiwi. They got another one that's kind of like a pina colada flavor to it. I haven't seen a coffee one yet, but I'm gonna work with them. Anyways, I already hit them up. I'm working to get not just a promo code so you guys can get a discount, but we're gonna work with Bucked Up to see if we can get you guys some free products here. Guess Steve Holland just showed up. That is some good coffee right there, guys. I got a couple things I want to go over. Number one, you guys know I just had my knee replacement surgery, right? So I have got just got all my staples out today, and I'm also off all my opiates. And this is the first day with no opiates. I'm here to tell you, I'm in what's that medical term? A metric shit ton of pain right now. Pretty well. I'm not a happy camper at all. I'm really not. So I appreciate Steve for coming up and hanging out with us tonight. And Steve's got a bunch of stuff. You see, we got a bunch of really nice shotguns up here on the wall. One of them is my son's 1100, and then the other one is a 1187. Is that what that is, Steve?
Yeah, 1187.
1187 up top. My son's 12 gauge 1100 underneath. That's the gun my son rocked when he was sponsored by Hornady. He took top junior shooter at the MGM Ironman, biggest 3-gun match on the planet. My son took top junior shooter he was 11 years old. His 12th birthday was the third day of the match. So anyways, I'm very proud of my little man. You know that I am. A couple things I want to mention, you guys, is we got things coming up this fall. I've got high risk travel, which is one of my favorite courses to teach. That is in July. September, we've got a whole bunch of pistol carbine courses. My Patreon course is going to be in October, but also in October, if you guys, and you hear me talk about it, Tactical Rifleman, me, my son, these other guys, we're going to go jump into Normandy for the 80th anniversary of the D-Day invasion. That is next June. They just did the 79th. And when I say we're going to go jumping, we're going to jump out of a World War II airplane, World War II uniforms, the whole 9 yards. We're going to go power drink in France for 5 days, basically. It's going to be a big drink fest. It's going to be a great time just celebrating being an American. Yeah, we got Independence Weekend coming up, and I'm very, very proud to be an American, guys. So anyways, if you want to get in on this and you want to jump with us into Normandy, you understand, they don't care if you've been to jump school 20 years ago. They don't care if you've never jumped before in your life. If you don't have current jump status, they're not going to let you jump. So how do you get current jump status? Well, I appreciate you asking. A couple years ago, I went down to Palatka, Florida. I put my son through a basic airborne course with this group called Round Canopy Parachuting Team USA, and they are a jump club nonprofit. They're trying to keep the airborne legacy alive. You do not have to be airborne. Now, there are a lot of, almost all their instructors are former Black Hats or former Green Berets, 82nd guys, whatever, and they do a great job teaching. But you do not have to be airborne. Now, if you are already airborne qualified, let's say you went to airborne school 40 years ago and you've been out for 20, doesn't matter. You can go down and you just have to do what they call extended airborne refresher. And but if you've never jumped before, you can go through. My son's girlfriend is thinking about going through it. My son's going to be down there in October and trying to talk his girlfriend into going to go do the basic course, but you don't have to be in the military. You just have to have the will to do it. So if you're in a bad spot and you're looking, or you want to try something different, you want to give it a try, you're not quite up to skydiving, but you want to actually try the Airborne experience, I'm here to tell you it's 5 days long. You'll get 5 jumps out of it. It is a great time just hanging out with you. Grunt Style is going to be there. Horse Soldier Bourbon's going to be there. Just all kinds of great people. And it really, really is awesome. Now, I know I mentioned the World War II airplane and everything, and it's kind of hard for you guys to visualize what I'm talking about. So what I did was we put together a little video. It's only a couple minutes long. And if you guys don't mind, I want to play it because I'm the jump master on this jump, but my son is my #1 jumper. So I hope you guys enjoy the video. I'll see you back in 2 minutes.
motherfucking shoot. Fucking beautiful. Damn it. Oh, that was a good one. Yep. Yeah, Nick. Oh, that's Carl. Hey, brother.
Good jump.
Fuck yeah.
Excellent jump. A very excellent jump. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed that as much as I did. Steve Holland came back in. I got Steve here with me now. And, man, we're actually, I'm telling Steve about the video while we're watching it. And Steve's brought a bunch of stuff he wants to talk about. Shotguns. All right, for my Google moderator who just came down to from getting Hot Pockets out of his mama's kitchen upstairs. All right, Steve is going to point at these guns. All right, number one, these are non-firing replicas. But number two, Steve is not going to touch these guns. Right, Steve?
Right.
But we are recording, so if they do cut us off, don't freak out. We will repost this as a separate video later, guys. We learn from our mistakes with YouTube. That is some good freaking coffee right there. It's good coffee, guys, but I'm here to tell you, it's just not alleviating the pain. It's really not. Those of you that are concerned about my knee replacement, I just saw the doc today, and so far, no infection. My rehab is going ahead of schedule, and but I'm still, I'm in a lot of pain. I'm in a lot of pain. I'm trying not to push it, but I got the 4th of July coming up, and you guys know the deal. That is one of my favorite holidays because it celebrates the birth of the greatest nation on earth. I'm a big fan of the Roman Empire, you know, and I know they lasted longer than us, but in the last 3,000 years, I'm here to tell you, yeah, basically the USA all the way. Here's what I'm going to do is, I know some of you guys got questions. You guys are going to send them in to me. That's fine. That's fine. One more thing about the round canopy parachute team, guys. That can be you in that video, literally, because they film every flight. They film every flight. If you think that's something you want to do, you don't have to jump combat equipment. You don't have to jump guns. You don't have to jump military uniforms. You don't. You got to wear boots. That's the only requirement. You got to wear boots to support your ankles when you jump. The parachutes are modern SF-10 parachutes, Special Forces 10 parachutes. And same ones that the 5th group guys were jumping before I retired. The static line guys, anyways. I was on a Halo team. But they are designed for a big guy like Emery and Leif LeBlanc to jump with 150 pounds of gear. So with no combat equipment, you're going to land soft as a baby. You land soft every time. You really do. Except for poor Jerry J. Jerry J fractured his femur on his first jump down there. He tried to do a stand-up landing on the hard pack. That's okay. No big deal. But guys, you can do it. You can sign up at rpcusa.org. and I think they still have a few slots left. And then I will be actually down there again in March. I'm actually Airborne commander for the entire event, and that is the last big event stateside before the jump into Normandy in June. I know we're in June right now, but that means we are less than 12 months away. We're less than 12 months away. I've got a lot of rehab to do between now and then, don't I? Yep, a lot. Anyways, I'm going to turn it over to Steve here. I'm just going around the corner. I got a couch out in the man room. I'm going to put my leg up in the man room, and I will be listening for questions and stuff that, if you send them to the moderators can send the questions directly to Steve. If they're questions to me, you can send them directly to me. My moderators will, and I will keep coming back in, checking in on Steve from time to time. All right, real quick though. Other things I wanted to talk about with you guys, and you understand, I always have a list of talking points. I've got my laptop here. I got a computer screen there, and then we got lighting and everything. Big monitors, right? Part of the whole stereo. Like even my pictures, they don't have any glass in them because the glass would reflect the lights, and we don't want to screw up your guys' studio here. So movie magic for you guys, indeed, movie magic. Yeah, some of the things I wanted to talk about, I'm gonna blow off. I'm gonna let this live stream be about what Steve wants to talk about. I know Steve has brought a bunch of different kinds of ammo and stuff, specifically shotgun type stuff he wanted to talk about. But yeah, guys, I don't know if you can see it, but I got, they hit me with a full-blown battle axe. They pulled all the meat back. They hooked the robot on, lowering my leg, and bolted the robot to my leg. And then it was, I was told it was a great surgery. It went fine. Yeah, I want to thank everybody for their prayers, their care packages and stuff. Marvin sent me a nice care package. Vinny, Michael, Susan and Glenn, Erica. I've gotten some great care packages. Even my Uncle James Swain, he sent me some French military MREs to eat. And I think I'm going to save them and make them a tactical rifleman video. They just look too badass for me to even open them up. So I'm no longer on a walker like I was last week. I've got my cane. And the cool part, man, it's, we're ninjas. So we got to have a light in our cane, but then it also, it's still got it still shocks too. You see all my shock stuff on the end there. Yeah, I'm digging it. I really am. So, I promise I won't whack Steve with it while it's unarmed. All right, Steve, I'm going to give you the big chair. All right. Oh.
Let's go lay on the couch, brother.
And then I'm going to come back and sit there later on. I am good for a sip of coffee. Guys, if Steve starts getting too long-winded, y'all just tell the moderators to bring me back, all right? Yeah. But you guys know Steve always does a great job. I'll see you guys back in a little bit. Steve, I am passing the torch to the legend, Steve Holland.
I have the torch, I have the baton, brother.
I'm just around the corner. Hey, did you see your board out here?
Yeah, I saw it.
Yeah, okay.
Good deal.
Yep.
Good deal. Oh, TR Nation, how you guys doing? I just love hanging out with you guys. I really do. I look forward to it. I have to slow myself down some. I said, because if you rush to next Tuesday, so we're going to be on TR Nation with you guys, then I'm skipping the other 6 days. I want to enjoy those 6 days up to Tuesday, right? People always, I can't wait till this. Well, wait, because while you rush into that day, all that time in between, you don't get it back, okay? So slow your life down a little bit. And here we are on Tuesday, and I've got some things I want to talk to you guys about. Follow up on a couple of different things that I've discussed on some shows a couple of shows back, as Carl mentioned, I'm going to go over some shotgun itinerary based on, I can't remember the young lady from last week, the name, but she said that she had looking for something for her granddaughter and I guess her husband at home, and the police had told her to, 12 gauge shotgun, when they hear that sound, that's going to deter them. Yeah. But as I said, there are options, and there are a lot of places out there where you can go do some training. My big thing on shotguns for small statured people and women, 12 gauge, a lot of blast, a lot of flash, a lot of recoil. E equals MC squared, mass times velocity. If you're going to push that mass out, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And in the firearms world, it's called recoil. And y'all know I love my 12 gauge turkey loads. I don't do a lot of buckshot stuff, but I love number 4s, number 4 3-inch. Woo! Have mercy! Somebody shoot this thing! It's killing me. I can't shoot that thing, Jerry. Shoot up here amongst us. I can't do that, Jerry. I might hit you. But shoot up here amongst us. One of us got to have some relief. Oh, mercy. So we're going to talk about 12 gauge, 20 gauge, and 410, and then a kind of surprise insert in there that I didn't talk about. I haven't really thought about it in a while, but we're going to address that today. So I'm going to try to keep up with your questions. JT or Susan, you guys out there running it, hit me up, and I'll try to, stay on my phone. Okay, and here we go. Doo-doo. First question of the day is from Catherine Raspberry. I bet you had some attention when you were going through high school, grammar school, and stuff like that. Miss Catherine Raspberry. How many guns do I own? That's like asking a woman how many shoes does she own. Not enough. Not enough. I am in a perpetual search, Miss Catherine, for that perfect fit. Each time I get something, and I mean, you guys, do the same thing. Most of you, get AR-15s, and you want this kind of upper, this kind of forearm, this kind of optic, short barrel, long barrel, flash hider, muzzle brake, linear comp, all different kind of things. Trying to get it to fit you, which is the best part of one, being born in the United States of America and having the Second Amendment, and being able to have access to those accessories so you can get it to fit you. It's kind of like you see all the great shotgun shooters, and not even just the great shotgun shooters, but shotgun competitors, golf players. Everybody is out there trying to get fitted, to find that perfect fit for your anatomy. I don't play golf, but I know people that play golf, and I know they're always, hey, I got another set of clubs, I got another set of clubs, I got a better putter. They're always trying to, fit. I want fit. Same thing with firearms, whether it's a handgun, shotgun, bolt gun, pump, semi-automatic. We're always looking for that one thing. And it drives me crazy because sometimes I'll find something that I like and it almost fits, but it's just something not there. And you can always tell, because whether you have one firearm or 10 or 15. Some of you guys with a gazillion. A lot of them don't go to the range with you, even though you have them and you like them. And there's certain ones that you're always wanting to shoot. So, that's pretty much, I guess it's a lifelong search. But as the saying goes, TR Nation, beware of the man or woman who has only one gun. They probably know how to use it. And as I mentioned last week, I have a good friend, my former teammate, my team leader. He's into Colt pythons, and I don't know how many pythons he has, but he's been collecting them since he was in Vietnam. All the guys that I knew from Vietnam, whenever we talk about firearms or mention something, they go, "Hey, I got one of those," and they'll always tell you during the Vietnam War, the guys are going country 6 months, 9 months, and the draftees, and you serve your time, and you come back, you can get out. But there were, full-time active duty guys there also. So every time they rotated out, I think it was every 6 months or 9 months or something like that, they got this good deal from the PX AFEs. They could buy, I think it was 1 or 2 firearms per rotation. And I remember a good friend of mine, he had some Winchester Pre-64 Model 70s. 270 Winchester, 30-06, and I think he told me at the time their discount through the PX AFEs on their rotations was something like $250. You know what a Winchester Model 70 Pre-64 30-06 would cost you right now? A bunch. So I hope that answers your question, Miss Raspberry, and we shall continue on. And I just got a text from one of our Patreons, Parmilius. I don't know if that's Greek or Roman. Parmilius, I guess he's heard me talk. He said, "Hey, Steve, I'm in Vietnam right now." And this, I think his young daughter was saying hello. Parmilius, how you doing? Love you, brother. Be safe over there. Have fun. If you can't be safe, be dangerous. Okay. Cash me outside. Cash me outside. Run me outside. Run me outside. Buffalo girl gonna run me outside. What's your opinion of the UTS 15 shotgun? I think they are supposed to be coming out with a semi-automated version. Cash me outside. I don't have an opinion because I haven't ever dealt with this. I haven't used this. I know what they are, but I haven't. I think I shot one at the SHOT Show one time on Media Day, but I really don't have an opinion. If I when I reach out, normally after I do the show, I take my notes and I reach out to someone around here in the area and they have one. I run it out when we shoot here at Carl's on Sunday. I run it out on the range and shoot a couple of boxes through it, and that I can really give you my opinion. Okay, here we go. James Swain. Okay, you gotta switch glasses. This is wearing me out. Okay, here we go. We're hot now. My Benelli M4 is my most favorite shotgun. I shoot double alt and slugs. What do you think about the setup? Love the M4. I love the M4, the M1, the M2, you name it. Benellis are fine shotguns. And Miss Raspberry, we're not counting, but I think I have maybe two Benellis, M1 and an M2 that I've had for years, and I enjoy them. I really do. Hold on, folks. Some water. Super cold in here. Super cold. Okay, I gotta get some water. No, the Benelli's, back in the day, and I think a while back ago, one of the viewers had asked us about a show of former Fifth Group video he had done, and he had mentioned my name, saying that I had been responsible for getting them M1911s for combat, and you know, I've done a lot of things like that. Once you get into the combat development career side, you learn how to work around the system. So the Berettas were acting up. Guys wanted to go back to 1911, so I found out how I could do it through the system. It was oh gosh, here we go again. So basically what we would do, and the program managers that run the weapons programs drives them crazy, because any projects they're working on, like when we did SOP Mod Block 1, Block 2, those people in that bureaucracy, they want funds coming in. Even though they're a government entity, they want funds. So they know that if we want to go and get 1911s, they're not going to get any funding. So trying to keep from sneezing. They always want to do something new. Whenever you go to their briefings, you always hear about evolutionary and revolutionary. But what they're saying is, give us some money, you know. So during that a certain time period, the Army had issued Mossberg 500s. That was a standard Army shotgun. Of course, Special Forces units, we get standard Army equipment also. And the guys would come back in rotations from overseas and say, hey, you know, I always tell them, take notes. You know, anytime something pops up in your head that says, I wish I had something like this, or I wish I had something like that, I said, write it down. When you rotate back in, I said, come see me, you know. And the combat development force modernization, it's a 2-year assignment in the Special Forces unit. I was there for 12 years. I guess I was doing my job kind of okay. So the guys came back and said, man, we use the shotguns, but it's just so many problems with running a pump. And as everybody knows, when you get on that 2-way range, you're not going to stand up. You're not going to kneel. You're going to flat yourself as flat as a flatworm in the prone. Well, when you go prone, you can't work a pump shotgun. So I said, okay, so we want a semi-automatic. Okay, wrote that down as a requirement, and brief it to the commander. And what I would always do, I would have the commander's top 10, because you have so much stuff coming at you from different programs. You know, we're going to give you this, we're going to give you that. I said, don't give us anything we didn't ask for. So I said, we need semi-automatic shotguns, and I want to say it was Colonel Pagan was the commander at the time. Might have been Colonel No. And he said, roger that. Understand, got it. You know, it came from the end user, so let's go. Do your thing. So basically, I looked at semi-automatic shotguns, and I found out that the Marines had adopted well, back then it was under HK, but it was the Benelli M4. So once I knew another service had adopted it, and it was already a program of record, all we have to do is go into that program of record, put in our requirement, and ask the funding agency on that program of record if they have money to plus up the quantities. So basically, long story short, I ended up getting 5th group. I want to say 250, 300 HK Benelli M4 shotguns. And guys loved them. Guys loved them. You know, some guys stuck with the collapsible stock. Some guys wanted to put on, you know, a fixed stock. And that's, you know, how 5th group ended up with, you know, M4 shotguns, M1911s, H&K UMP 45s. We used to have the other groups would rotate in overseas, and they would always hear something back. Somebody, they're complaining because they want to know how the hell 5th group got HK UMP 45 submachine guns. I said, man, I was hoping they didn't find out about that. Yeah. So anyway, I got the sucking chest wounds to prove that I was aggressive and getting the end user what he needed. Okay, I guess I'm not keeping up with the. Oh gosh. Guys, y'all know how it is. I get in here sometime. Carl has an Arctic cold in here. Well, I'm used to Africa hot. So, bear with me. Okay, so back to the phone. You know, I have these messages coming in, but I also want to, you know, give you other guys there in the chat room not sitting on a cushion some answers also. Okay, let's go. Okay, we kind of answered UTAS. James Swain, see question, Benelli M4, answer that. James Swain, you say you shoot double offs and slugs. Take a look at some turkey loads. Run some turkey loads at the ranges that you run, and just you know, just give them a try. I think you might like them. Michael Johnson, what do you think about using a lightweight 308 for a duty gun instead of a 6.8 or 5.56? Well, Michael, I don't have anything against 308s. I was working with one of the programs that we were reviewing, you know, ARs, firearms out there in the industry for anything that we thought we might be interested in. And this had to be 2013, 14. But I ended up working with Frank DeSoma, God bless him, may he rest in peace, on their AR, which was a 308, but it was the most amazing AR 308 I'd ever seen. I mean, it basically was at the size and weight of 5.56 or 6.8 platform. And when I brought that forward, getting the units interested in it, they a lot of guys were like, man, you're really working on this, and you know, instead of your beloved 6.8, I said yes, because my focus is what works best for the warfighter. And if we had a POF 308 AR at 7.5 pounds, I would have never pursued a better cartridge capability, because we would have had the platform that, to me, would have been the perfect platform. So I like 308 platforms. I don't have a POF 308. Short story, but anyway, I do like them. I'm a big fan of 308 ammo. I guess you guys have heard me talk a lot about whenever we're asked about ammo for 308, and I always say my favorite is the Hornady 155 grain tap. So that lets you know that I do shoot 308 7.62 by 51 millimeter NATO. Again, it depends on the platform. You know, when you're out going to the range just to shoot, a 12-pound platform doesn't sound that heavy. But when you've been in country 4, 5, 6 months and you're out there humping, and you reaching over, sucking down on your camelback, and the cool water you put in your camelback 20 minutes ago is now probably like 90 degrees, and you're tired, hot, dusty, and you got those freaking flies. Y'all know I hate flies. Hate flies. Ah! Hate them. So, yes, if you got a 7.62 platform, go for it, 308. But always keep in mind the power that you have, that you control, or you're going to let loose, has a reverse effect. You push a 308 round down range or in a building or a house or apartment complex or something like that, you got to know what your background is. And if you were defending your home, your family, just keep that in mind, because that 308 is going to go. It's going to bust through just about everything it hits. Car doors, apartment walls, apartment doors, windows in that house, in the next house, in the third house down in that subdivision. So just keep that in mind. Do-do-do-do. Do-do-do. Have I ever shot the shotgun rounds with the Fletchers? I think you're trying to say flechettes. Rob, I think you're saying flechettes. Yes, I have. Again, when we looked at shotguns, to look at a shotgun is to automatically look at the ammo. And I've shot many of the flechette rounds, just about anything that's made for shotguns. The flechette rounds are, they're okay. They have, to me, I didn't like them because they have limited capability as compared to, standard shotgun rounds, especially if you're breaching. And a lot of times when you're running a shotgun, we have breacher up. He's got a short pistol grip shotgun. I think we call it a master key. But flechettes have, I'm sure they have their place. I don't think they're all-purpose, general purpose enough for me. I mean, you have to have them for like specific reasons, and so I didn't really get into them that much. Hope that answers your question. Okay, I think we semi-caught up. So what I'm going to do is I am going to don. Let's see if I get this right. Ta-da! A trusty, dusty shotgun belt. Ta-da! Badges. Badges. We don't need no stinking badges. Ta-da! So, you guys know that I'm a fan of 20 gauge. As you can see, I've got my 20 gauge shells. I'm so backwards. Ta-da! I got my 20 gauge. You can always tell 20 gauge shells from other shells because 20 gauge come in yellow colors. The holes are yellow. And that's universal no matter what shot size you have in them. I mean, you can get shotgun shells that come in red, black, pink, whatever. 20 gauge shells by industry standards and Sammy and everybody else, just so nobody ever gets them mixed up and shoot it in the wrong gauge, 20 gauge shells are always yellow. So I'm a firm believer in, with the technology that has advanced in ammunition loading and how they make the shot wads and all of this powder improvement and everything else, that 20 gauge will give you just as much capability as a 12 gauge without the blast and the recoil. Okay? So, here we go again. The 20 gauge, as we know, right here, 20 gauge is yellow. I'm so confused on this. So, see the difference in the size, okay? For me, it's not just the difference in the size of the shell. What happens is the platform, the shotgun for 20 gauge from 12, it shrinks down because you don't need that much mass for that smaller bore. You got a 12 gauge barrel, and you got a 20 gauge barrel. And what you're doing is you basically, your platform becomes smaller, lighter, and easier to maneuver. And that's one of the things I like about 20 gauge. I haven't seen anything when I'm working on shotgun stuff with 20 gauge that I ever felt that, hey, I wish I would have had a 12 gauge because the 12 gauge would work better. Okay? And also, you guys know, again, small stature, less weight. You walk around at 110, 120, 125 pounds. You just don't want that. And all you guys that, you go out there and buy you a Mossberg 500 or a Maverick or a Remington 870 12 gauge police model, and you tell, your better half or your children, here, my dad's going to defend the castle, and you take them out to the range one time and you give them, 5 double-aught buck shells. You tell them, okay, I want you to go out here, I want you to shoot it so you know how it feels. Then boom, they're like, thanks, Dad. No thanks. Okay? That's where 20 gauge really earns its value in blast, flash, recoil, and the size of the platform. And okay, we gotta do this right here. Ta-da! I borrowed a couple of platforms, and I borrowed one from Carl, which is Nick's gun. As you can see, I'm going to point. I'm not going to touch. The shotgun on the top is a Remington 1187 20 gauge. Okay? Now you've got the little hanger on there that kind of makes it look like it's got a pistol grip, but it doesn't. That's just a little bracket that's holding it up. So it's not a pistol grip, it's a straight shotgun stock. But if you look at the size of the receiver of the 20 gauge and the size of the forearm as compared to the size of the Remington 12 gauge semi-automatic sitting underneath it, the 20 gauge is a much smaller, lighter platform. That platform, I want to say I got that at Walmart, I don't know, 6 or 7 years ago. I just happened to be walking through the firearms section. Imagine that. Steve Holland walking through the firearms section at Walmart. And I looked over and I saw the 1187. I was like, eh. And as you said, Miss Raspberry, how many do I have? I looked at that. I said, man, do I need another shotgun? But it's a 20 gauge. Then I asked the clerk, I said, could you turn that tag around so I can see that price on the 1187? She turned the tag around, and I said, is that correct? She said, yeah, $325. Done! Get the paperwork. Done. And I've had that shotgun for probably 7 years now. And I just love it. I mean, I really do. And whoever it was, catch me outside or somebody to talk about the M4s, the Benellis, the M1s, the M2s. Like I said, I have M1 and M2. And I talked about earlier about the search for the perfect firearm that fits you. It affects how many firearms you own. And there's always the ones that you like, but they stay at the house. And there's ones that you like that they go to the range with you. That little 20 gauge 1187 goes to the range for me all the time. Even if I'm shooting ARs or bolt guns, I always take that little 1187 20 gauge and I put maybe 4 or 5 rounds through it if I'm working something else. But then if I'm doing shotgun stuff, then I might run, 3-4 boxes of 20 gauge 7.5 birdshot loads just to shoot it, just to enjoy it. I mean, Remington did a really good job on it. They have a really decent recoil pad on that shotgun. And folks, I am like a recoil pad, I don't know how to say it, but I can't stand the way industry handles putting recoil pads on any firearm. Because there's no way you can tell me that a hard piece of rubber that I can't even squeeze is negating recoil. It's kind of like a mattress. If you got a hard-ass mattress, guess what? You're going to have a hard-ass night of sleep, okay? But you get these firearms, they have this piece of rubber. even the ones that specialize in recoil pads. And Remington had a recoil pad they came out with, I don't know, 10, 12 years ago. I think they called them supercells or something like that. And first thing I thought was somebody finally addressed the true nature of recoil pads. To absorb, not send. Absorb, not send. Okay? So that little shotgun goes to the range for me. Why? Because it fits me. So, again, you can see there are accessories for the 20 gauge. I added the extended magazine tube. I've got a turkey choke on there. They make some beautiful loads in number 4 and number 5 turkey loads. Awesome. So but one of the things I want to talk about, and again, small stature people that don't want to, damage their shoulders or damage their teeth. Looking at 20 gauge, and I also talked about 410. Now you guys know 410 is even smaller and less recoil, flash, and blast than the 20 gauge. And it has its place. Carl has a Henry lever action rifle in 410. I took it down so I could put these other platforms up there for tonight. But I'm a big fan of 410. I run a Smith & Wesson Governor, which shoots 45 ACP on a six-shot moon clip. It shoots 45 long coat, and it shoots 410 shotgun shells. So I can run 410 shotgun shells on the lever action Henry rifle, and they're compatible with the revolver that I'm carrying, the Smith & Wesson Governor. Same ammo. So I can feed both at the same time. Now, one of the things that let's see if I know how to do this with Carl's thing. I'm going to try to hit some picks, and hopefully, come on, sweetie. Hopefully, you guys, it'll work out. Okay. Go ahead. Okay. Looking for picks. Okay. Wrong pick, but it's a good pick. We'll go back to the shotgun stuff in a minute. I want to share this pick with you guys. This is my awesome cousin from Brunswick, Georgia, Glenn County. This is Jawan Floyd, who just recently graduated from Airborne School. And we're going to continue and share Jawan's journey with you guys. I think Jawan is 5'4". Maybe 5'4", 5'5", 5'3". Hit me up, Jawan. I know you're watching. He's down in Fort Benning, and he's hanging out with his Hua buddies. As you can see, Airborne secured. So all these guys you see, plus the class they're with, they are all going to be U.S. Army Rangers. Jawan just passed his PT test week before last, and that was the last hurdle for him. Because you got phases. Of course, you got to go to basic training and AIT, and then you got to go to jump school. You got to pass Airborne school, and he passed. Then you have the Ranger PT test, and he passed his PT test. So he is on his way. He is waiting for his slot to come up so he can go to Ranger school. And that's a hard adventure. I'm telling you, it's tough. So now we're gonna go to shout out to Jawan and his mates. Congratulations, guys. Congratulations. Welcome to the U.S. Army. Thank you for being patriots. Thank you for wanting to go serve and support your country. Whether you serve 3 years, 4 years, 20 years, or 30 years. You know, we have an absolutely wonderful country we live in, and we need awesome guys in the service to defend against whatever the powers to be say we need to defend against. I was going to say, anyway, moving on. So we're going to try the picks too. Okay, there we go. Now we're back to shotguns. So, as you can see, most shotguns run the 12 gauge. I like the 20 gauge. As I say, 20 gauge will always come in yellow. There's a 410 over there on the far left, and you got some wonderful loads available to 410 as far as personal defense, self-defense, home defense, because of the new generation of pistol cartridge shotguns. You got the Taurus, which shoots 410 shotgun shells. You got the Smith & Wesson Governor that shoots shotgun shells. So all the industry ammunition makers are now making 410 shotgun shells with numerous different loads, numerous different capabilities that work in your shotguns. The okay, what's supposed to go? Back to So you've seen the 12 gauge, you've seen the 20 gauge, you've seen the 410 gauge. Okay. Now, if you notice on the picture, there's actually another gauge that is between the 410 and the 20, and it's very seldom talked about. And you don't see a lot of people out there shooting shotguns that have embraced this gauge, but it is the 28 gauge. My belief is 12 gauge, too much kaboom. 20 gauge, less kaboom, smaller, lighter platform. 410 is very good. And a lot of people say, well, 410 doesn't have the ass to use for home defense. Well, all you handgun shooters out there, if you believe that you can get it done with a handgun in a 10 millimeter Magnum or 41 Magnum in a revolver, 410 is the same thing. It's just a shotgun shell. You run a slug out of a 410, you're shooting someone with a 10 millimeter. You're shooting someone with the 41 mag. But you actually get more velocity because the shotgun has a longer barrel, more velocity. So don't poo-poo 410 until you think about, I got my 1911 and 410, or I got my Glock 20 in 1911 and 10 mil, my Glock 20 in 10 mil. I'm ready to take anything on. Okay? 410 is 41 caliber. 10 mil is 40. 40 Smith & Wesson, 10 mil. 40 Smith & Wesson is 40 caliber. 410 is 41 caliber. A slug out of a 410 shotgun shell. Shoot that thing. So let's go back to the pick again. And right between 410 and 20 gauge, you see the 28 gauge. And the 28 gauge is something I think should be considered by everyone that's looking for something for personal defense, home defense, and a shotgun. And we're going to go back. And here we go. So ta-da! We got. Can you see that? Anyway, this is 2.5, 2 3/4, number 28, 28 gauge, 7.5 shot, 1,300 feet per second. Okay, so now you have an option. Is just saying, I really like 20 gauge. I would like to go to 410, but I think it might be too light. But 20 gauge is too heavy. Think about 28 gauge. 28 gauge is the red one. Okay. And the 20 gauge is the yellow one. We very seldom hear people talk about 28 gauge. And I thought about it last week when I was talking about, 20 gauge. I said, you know what? Maybe we need to take a look at the 28 gauge. So that covers it. I actually got this today from Miss Sarah Tays, who runs the Gun and Knife Country firearms and knife store right outside of Gate 6 at Fort Campbell. Miss Sarah was on our show 2-3 weeks ago. We did the show at Leatherwood Distillery. We had Kim Breed, custom knife maker, Ray Hodge, Red River Tactical, custom sheaths for knives and handguns. And then Miss Sarah and her daughter Lauren was our guest. Of course, Lauren didn't say much. When I went by to pick this up today, she's like, "Hey, he's ready to." I was like, "Get away from me." Yeah, you on the show, you wouldn't say anything. So I picked this up just on my way here so I can show you guys that there's another option when it comes to shotguns. 28 gauge. So, ta-da! Susan is banging me. Put it on. No. Catch Me Outside, practical use for Dragon's Breath. Dragon's Breath is practical use. Catch Me Outside for Dragon's Breath. For you who don't know what Dragon's Breath is, it's a shotgun shell that shoots out flame, sparks, like a big burst of flame, sparks, kind of like an extended burn Roman candle, but one shot. It comes in all gauges. Is very cool to watch. I mean, you can light up the night with it. You can start a fire with it. Personal defense, home defense, self-defense. I don't know. I know I don't want to be on the receiving end of it. No way. Fire, as my great friend, Mr. Chris Murray of the U.S. Army Marksmanship Unit would tell me, Steve, fire is our friend. It cooks our food and burns our enemies. So, is there a practical use for Dragon's Breath? I don't know. Repel boarders, The Walking Dead is in the yard, head toward the steps, toward the front porch. Light them up with Dragon's Breath. I can't think of anybody that wants to walk into something like that. I wouldn't. So, yeah, I guess so. I don't know. It is beautiful to watch. They're fun to shoot. I've shot some 410s, I think some 20 gauge on the 4th of July. They're better than, skyrockets and everything else. Because, with a rocket, you got to light it, then it takes off, goes away from you, goes up in the sky, boom. It's like you don't have that personal connection. With the Dragon's Breath, you put it in your firearm, boom, and you're controlling it. You're directing and controlling it. So, as for practical use, Catch Me Outside, I'll leave that up to you. Get you a couple of cases and get to burning. Carl, what do you think about practical use of Dragon's Breath shotgun shells?
Dragon's Breath is a carnival ride. It's not good for anything at all.
That's why I love you, man.
I'm just being honest. Guys, if you want to have a couple rounds there to help scare off looters, you got protesters marching and coming down the road. You want to dump a few rounds of Dragon's Breath in there. Cool. There's another one that's actually called Aerial Pest Control. There's a company called ALS that makes them. Aerial Pest Control basically has a little flashbang grenade in it. It's 12 gauge. You can buy them. Don't need a special license. But where Dragon's Breath just shoots out the flames, you've got a very limited range on that. The aerial pest control rounds are designed for before weddings. They can go, the outdoor wedding, you can go out and you shoot these things up into the trees and they scare all the birds out of the trees. And they go a couple hundred feet, at least 150 feet. Now, if you've got a bunch of rioters outside your place of business or whatever, you go out with a Versamax that holds 10 shells, and now granted, they're $5 a pop. I think they're not cheap, but you go dump $100 worth of aerial pest control, or go aerial pest control and Dragon's Breath, and put them side by side, and you empty that shotgun out in front of people. But understand, you're not. They're considered less lethal. You're going to get sued, but that's better than them burning down your business. So it is what it is. It is what it is. I like this. I can have my leg up on the table here. Steve can still run his show.
Hey, Steve and Carl, do you have any experience with the Bauer Bitty suppressor for 22 long rifle? Mr. Whitaker, this is the first I've ever heard of a Bauer Bitty suppressor. So no,
is it a brand? If it's a brand, yeah, let's look.
I'm sure it's a brand.
Bauer Bitty. Here's the deal, guys. When it comes to brand of suppressors, and we don't like talking preferred brands for AR guns. We don't like doing that because people want to bash Daniel Defense. What? Nobody bashes Daniel Defense. Okay, all right, but there are people that bash Daniel Defense. Guys want to bash JP Enterprise. Guys want to bash Maxim. Guys want to bash POF. They want to bash Panther Arms or DPMS or Remington or Smith & Wesson or Colt. You understand, all of these companies, they're basically making mil-spec guns. There's a set to mil-spec requirements. Now, can you get fancier uppers and lowers and everything? You can. Can you get tighter quality control? You can. But at the same time, you can take a mil-spec upper and lower from DPMS and you can build it out yourself and make a great gun out of it. All right? So we don't like saying brand against brand, but understand those are... You're good. They can hear you.
Okay.
All right. They can... There's a lot of moving parts in those guns. There's a lot of good companies, a lot of okay companies, but it's not that hard to make a good AR. It's really not. Suppressors is even worse because you understand it is a milled tube. It is a tube. It is a muffler. It is all it is. And are some better than others? Yes. But for 22 long rifle, honest, I would tell you, for 22 long rifle, get one that threads on. You don't need a quick detach for 22 long rifle. And go with something light, but number one, look for the decibel reduction you want. And then you want to go as light as you can. And that's where your cost is going to be. But understand, you paying more to have the Gemtech name on it or a Dead Air name as opposed to you getting a smaller, cheaper brand like I hadn't heard before. On a 22 long rifle, no, I don't even know the brands of my 22 long rifle suppressors. I don't, because it's not anything I'm betting my life on. I've got them to put on my Glock with my conversion barrels, but I also have them on my 22 long rifles for cleaning the squirrels and groundhogs out of the yard, which is a great pastime, by the way. Great pastime.
Ground fog. Is there any concern with recoil pads interfering with the cycling action? Now, when you say interfering with the cycling action, so automatically, I'm assuming that you're talking about a semi-automatic. I have not run into a recoil pad yet that, no matter how hard or how user-friendly, squishy it is, that affects the cycling of an action. Now, keep it in mind, if you use one and you're having a cycling problem, it might not be the recoil pad. It might be you.
Yeah.
I've seen people actually shoot shotguns and not knowing, have that recoil pad on the shotgun anywhere from a half inch to 3/4 of an inch off their shoulder. And
subconsciously, they don't want to get hit by it.
Yeah. And so, again, equal and opposite actions. A semi-automatic, any kind, needs some kind of force, rigid force, to push against for it to cycle. Some are better than others. You got gas and you got blowbacks and everything else. But to have the recoil pad affect the cycle, if you're having a problem like that and you think it's recoil pad, take that firearm and safely, at a range or something like that, and put it up against something solid, not your shoulder, and shoot it. If it shoots up against a shooting bench safely, but it won't shoot up when you hold it to your shoulder, then it's not the recoil pad of the shotgun. Or even if it's a pistol cartridge or a rifle cartridge semi-automatic. Hope that answers your question.
Yeah, on that, I just want to add a little bit more to that. Most of your guns, we're talking, Steve's talking shotguns, so you start talking gas guns like your Berettas, your Benellis. Your Benellis, whether M1, M3s, whatever. I run a Versamax. I also run a F&H SLP. Those guns come from the factory overgassed. Now, what I love about the Versamax is it's actually got extra ports where the pistons are. So if you're running longer shells, as the shell opens up, it actually covers the first set of ports. So it draws off less gas. So in other words, you're not knocking the snot out of the gun. I actually broke the light piston in my my F&H SLP by running heavy Turkey Storm in it. Can't break that on the newer guns, the Versamax. But what I mean when I say they're overgassed, you can hold them out in your hand. So in other words, the end of the stock is right here. I can point it at the targets and I can empty the gun. They are so overgassed that in other words, they don't need it up against your shoulder. Where you start running into problems is all your 3-gun competition shooters. They want to go lighter springs so they can run lighter loads, so they can get less recoil, so they can get back on target faster, so they can run the gun faster. And when you start tuning springs and tuning ammo for a competition, you're taking the reliability out of the firearm, and then they can no longer hold it out here. They then have to have, and you might run into problems of you soft shouldering it. But and same thing with ARs. When guys start tweaking springs and loads, if you want to do that, adjustable gas blocks, and you can get them changeable gas blocks on your shotguns also. But no, you putting a pad on your shoulder or putting a little extra rubber on the stock of your gun should not affect the operation of the firearm at all.
Joe S. Steve, call. What are some good 20 gauge semi-auto shotguns?
20 gauge semi-autos. I believe the Versamax is available in 20 gauge. I believe your Benelli M3 is also available in 20 gauge. Guys, look at the name of the channel. Tactical Rifleman. So I'm not saying I'm not good with a shotgun. Y'all seen the movie Quigley Down Under? The end of the movie, he said, "I don't have much use for one. I didn't say I don't know how to use one." And he burns all 3 guys down with a revolver. You guys have seen me use a pistol. Tactical Rifleman. That does not mean I don't know how to use a pistol. Same thing with a shotgun. I can run a shotgun. I can probably, unless you're a pro 3-gun guy, you're gonna obviously if you're a pro, you're gonna do load 4s, quad loads faster than me. But other than that, I load with quads. I load shotgun very, very quick. And in a competition, it's he who loads the shotgun the fastest wins. This is good coffee, dude. It's good coffee.
Look at the Benellis. Like I said, I have this Remington 1187 20 gauge. I've had it for 7 years. I got it for, very, very inexpensive price at Walmart. I've always wanted a Benelli 20 gauge. Every time I walk to the store that sell Benellis, and I say, you guys got a 20 gauge Benelli semi-automatic? And oh, sure we do. And they hand it to me, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love this. I pick up the price tag, and I go, okay, take that one back. Browning makes some really good 20 gauge semi-automatics.
Is Mossberg. Jerry Micklick tricked out a competition shotgun. I believe he did it for Mossberg. And again, guys, don't bash me in the comment section if I'm wrong on my names, but we have the same thing happen with precision rifle classes. I have guys that show up with surgeon rifles and accuracy internationals and all these $10,000 guns that are awesome, but they usually get outshot by the country boy that shows up with the Mossberg bolt action 6.5, who has built the gun properly. They make good guns. He's got it sized to him properly, and he knows his gun. He's got dope on his ammo, right? You can't just buy. You can't buy accuracy. You can buy a precision rifle. You can buy precision ammo, but the part of that weapon system that has the most moving parts is that mammal that you're hooking onto the back of the gun. And if that mammal on the back of the gun is not of the same caliber as the precision ammo and precision rifle, if he's not a precision mammal, you're not going to have an accurate package. You're not. It's all about consistency. All about consistency. Guys, a question came in earlier. Susan passed it that you guys were asking about Super Chat. Our Super Chat's been turned off. Okay. What it is it all of a sudden got turned off one day, and we went to go check with YouTube, and they said, well, that's the financial company that pays you for the videos. Okay, so we went and did all their online stuff, and they said, well, you got to put the pin in that we mailed to you. You didn't email us any pin. Like, no, we mail it to you. Now, understand, Google and YouTube, right, some of the biggest computer monsters on the planet, they mail you a PIN number. Mail you, like in the mail. Tell me that's not some libtard who's trying to bash our channel. So anyways, it still hasn't showed up, so we reapplied to have them re-mail us our PIN, and we still haven't gotten it yet. So I have kindly asked my son and Heather up in New York to kindly ask YouTube to mail us our 4-digit PIN again. And if we ever get it, guys, fine. Hopefully they do. You understand, it bothers me that YouTube, that the spineless, living in their basement soy boys have that much control over our channel. It bothers me, but at the same time, it just reminds me that if they hate us that much, it means we're doing something. It means we're making the world a better place. And they don't, you understand, they don't like that. They don't want the world to be a better place. I was watching something on the news today. There's some professor lost his job at his college, some Ivy League school. He lost his job because he was an English teacher, and English is a racist language. It's a racist language, which therefore makes him a white supremacist because he teaches English, and right. Even Steve's like, what the fuck are you talking about, right? So, right. You can't make that up. You can't make it up.
You can't.
You can't. So, but to them, they honestly believe they're right. So, and that's because the people ahead of them educated them that way, and the people for them educated them that way. And you understand, that started Vietnam era, the whole communist. You can't make a country communist. You've got to grow a country communist, and that's all they're doing. That's all they're doing. So instead of us bitching about it, smile I will try to get you your super chat back. All right. I will try to keep the channel open. I just have to be able to pay the bills. And honestly, without Patreon, I would not be able to do this right now. Would not be able to do it. We're not. You understand? We're not making a dime off of this. All right. Bucked Up. I am making a little bit of money with Bucked Up, but not enough to cover all the stuff that we got going on here. But and I appreciate Bucked Up having the balls. Granted, they're deer balls, but at least they've got some white-tailed deer balls enough to support a gun channel, and I appreciate them for doing that. But yeah, so big thanks to my patrons for helping us keep this alive. Hopefully someday, like Elon Musk is trying to turn Twitter around, hopefully someday somebody will turn Google and YouTube around. But until then, they think it's okay. They think it's okay to lie and shit in our mouths. So play the game, guys.
Cans Quatch. I hope I'm pronouncing it right. What is the velocity and pattern for 410 out of the Governor? Cans Quatch.
The Governor.
That is such
that's the one with the stock on it?
No, the Governor is the pistol.
I thought that was a Judge.
No, the Judge is Taurus, with shoots 410.
Oh, yeah.
The Governor is Smith & Wesson that shoots the 410.
Oh, but it's the same length thing?
It's a little bit shorter than the Judge. You get, but basically, Cans Quatch, when you ask a question like that is an open question.
Yeah, what type
of
ammo?
What type of ammo? What size shot? I mean, there's so many variables in there that we couldn't answer that question.
One thing I will say, and I don't own a Governor. I do own a Judge. Why did I get a Judge? Because I was actually testing it to be used as a breaching shotgun. We were going to make Hatton rounds, little frangible Hatton rounds in 410. And that way you could have a Kydex holster on the front of your body armor. And basically you come up to a door. It's a push door, right? In other words, we don't need to explosively breach it. Normally, if it's a metal door, you always explosively breach. But if it's just a hard wooden door, if it's a push door, you either kick it open or you shotgun it open. If it is a pull door, you understand you can't kick in a pull door.
Yeah.
You can't. So you're having to explosively breach it, right? So normally in a normal assault cell for a hostage rescue, direct action, something like that, out of a 5-man cell, one guy would have a hoolie tool, one guy would have your splitting maul or sledgehammer. Like I carried a collapsible handle splitting maul. It had a sledgehammer head on one side and a axe head on the other. And it stayed in a little scabbard on the back of my body arm. I could push up on the back, grab the head, extend the handle, one swing down, knock the doorknob off, next swing right where the doorknob was, and I can knock open most doors. And then we have one guy carrying wire cutters, and then the other two guys in the cell both had breaching shotguns. Now, every guy carried 5 shotgun shells on the front of their body armor. So if he ran out of, let's say Steve carried our breaching shotgun from my cell, all right? If he ran out of shotgun shells, that would suck. Now it means I've got to do a lot of swinging with that sledgehammer. That would suck. So I'm like, hey, Steve, here's 5 more Hatton rounds. I would give Steve 5 more Hatton rounds. Now, so the thought process was, the reason why I use a 12 gauge is so you have enough energy to hit that locking mechanism, that deadbolt that's going into the door frame. If you hit that metal rod basically with that mass, all a Hatton round is a frangible round, guys. So if I hear me say Hatton round, I'm basically talking about using a slug. Can you use a slug? You can, but understand if you miss it going through the door, now the potential is there for you to hit a non-combatant on the other side of the doorway. Can you use buckshot? You can, but a lot of times you're not getting as much energy as you would with a Hatton round. A frangible Hatton round, you're getting all the energy of a slug, but as soon as it hits, it immediately disintegrates. And if there's a little girl right on the other side of the door, you're not going to hurt her unless she gets hit with that metal locking mechanism that's going to go flying out of the door. All right, so what we found was, as long as you hit it solid, 12 gauge is way overkill. Way overkill. So the thought process was, with a 410, you could actually get closer because the barrel's shorter. So you're able to be more accurate. There's less chance of you missing or nicking that locking mechanism. Remember, you can't see the locking mechanism because it's inside the doorway. You're under nod, so you're having a hard time seeing anyways. But you look at it, you see the doorknob. You've got to visualize where that locking mechanism goes into the door. That's where you want to shoot. You want to shoot right there. So we were testing that's why I got a Taurus Judge. We're testing it with slugs on door facades, and if it worked well enough, we were going to then pay to have Hatton rounds made, frangible slugs. What we found was, and I still got a couple scars, the first time I shot it, the wooden door immediately splintered, but as those splinters turned, one of them went right into my hand because my hands weren't back here. My hand was right up on the door, and it went right through my glove. Is that take you out of the fight? No, not at all. It's just it's an owie. It's a boo boo. You would keep fighting, but you understand it's the first door that I'm practicing on. So anyways, we never really pursued it. But that said, so I do have a Judge in my inventory, and what I'll tell you is, for getting copperheads or water moccasins that jump down in your canoe, okay, understand you will get the snake because your pattern is about this big, and there is enough energy, you're putting holes in your canoe. All right.
Versus having a moccasin put a hole in your butt.
But in other words, you can shoot the snake on the bank next to your kayak without having to worry about bullets skipping off the water and hitting other kayakers around you, right? So it's not bad for that. Now, but for that same reason that it is good to have in a kayak because it's only lethal to the shore, understand you're not getting long shots with shotgun shells all the way at the other end of the hallway, because shotgun shells immediately start spreading as soon as it leaves your plastic shell. It immediately starts spreading, and then it bounces off the edge of the barrel, and then it comes back in the other direction, and it hits the barrel again, and it keeps doing that till it gets to the end of the barrel. But by then, the angles have cut down enough that your pattern, though it is still spreading out a little bit, it's not spreading out as much as it would out of a short Judge or Governor. So just understand, it's like a sawed-off shotgun that the gangsters used to use. It is good from here. It's basically made to be used inside the doorway. Right?
Close and personal.
Close and personal.
Real quick, guys, and then we're going to get back to the questions, since we've been talking about shotguns and shotguns versus tactical riflemen. This right here is the Army's M26 shotgun system. I worked on this before I got out, myself and my very good friend in the Ranger Battalion, Command Sergeant Major Marty Barreras, who was killed in Afghanistan, and God bless him, may he rest in peace. Marty was an awesome, awesome guy. But Marty joined me. I joined Marty in the effort to get the Army to adopt this shotgun system. And this is the M26 shotgun system, 12 gauge. It takes magazines very similar to, look it up, M26 12 gauge U.S. Army. It takes magazines similar to the Russian
AK.
No.
Spaz 12.
Yeah, Spaz 12.
No.
Oh gosh, I know. That's, you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
So basically, what you saw in that picture was the M26 with the 10-inch barrel attached to the M4 like a 203 would. There's a civilian version of that shotgun with a M4 stock on the back of it, not attached to an AR, with a legal, I think, 16-inch barrel. So, but it is a push-pull action. It's the bolt is on the left side, going to the right side. It collapses, but basically, you don't have a pump. That's how they save the weight and the length. It got a charging handle you flip open, and you have to work the action yourself. So they're just something for you to take a look at. I'm not going to do
Sega shotgun.
Sega 12, Sega magazines. So I'm not going to do all your research for you. Got to hold something back because if I don't, you guys are going to get lazy. Okay. Have we ever seen Grover Cleveland's 8-gauge shotgun at the NRA Museum? JT, I've never been to the NRA Museum. I know what you're talking about. I know about 10 gauge and 8 gauge. 8 gauge is a monster. And you guys know what 12 gauge looks like, right? You know what 10 gauge looks like. But 8 gauge is very similar to what the Europeans used to call a punt gun. Like you punt the football, but they would put this in a boat like a canoe.
Yeah.
And they would cover themselves up and slowly row up to the ducks, and they would boom let off this 8 gauge, 6 gauge. They call it a punt gun, and then push the canoe back about another 30 yards. So good for Mr. Cleveland and his 8 gauge. God bless him. I'm not out there searching for.
The problem with odd caliber guys, and like everybody's got, like my son's first deer he got with, actually got with a crossbow, but he got his second and third deer he got with a 16 gauge single shot shotgun, and he was shooting slugs out of it. But even with birdshot and number 4, 16 gauge it's between 20 and 12.
Yeah.
So it's a decent single shot. It's a great hunting gun. Single shot. It's great for a kid growing up. Let the kids go out and hunt squirrels in the backyard. But the problem is, and I try to, whenever I see 16 gauge shells, I'll buy a box or 2 or 3 to put them up just so my great grandkids can say, hey, this is old great grandpap's 16 gauge single shot that he reblued. We got it out of an old storage unit that somebody wasn't renting anymore. They left a bunch of trash in it, and I stripped it down and reblued it and everything, cleaned up the stock, oiled the stock up, and that was Nick's first shotgun. And it's just hard to find it. I can't find 410 right now. If you guys find 410 ammo, you let me know, because I have got I got my lever action Henry. And but it eats some 410s. It really does.
There's actually a company that makes a 410 AR-15 upper receiver group.
Ooh, wouldn't that be sexy?
Oh, it is sexy.
But you can't feed it. You can't get ammo for it.
You can get ammo. I
was supposed to 410 shotgun
in Walmart.
What?
Yeah.
Do you really?
Yeah. That's where I get all my shotgun shells from.
I'm gonna have to start looking again.
The name of this company. I've actually had one of my friends in North Carolina contact this company so we can get a 410 AR-15 upper so we can have it here on the show. Catch me outside. Don't suppose you've heard of Hatson or Uzkan shotguns out of Turkey. I have not. But I will say I have some shotguns, 1 or 2 shotguns that were made in Turkey, and over the years, they've gotten better and better with their quality. Their quality control is really, and the Turkish firearms, the wood is such beautiful wood. I don't know where they get the wood from. I don't know if they grow it in Turkey or they I don't know, go someplace else. But they have beautiful wood. Like the Stoger shotgun, everybody says it's a cheap version of a Benelli, but it's a Benelli license to be made in Turkey, and you're talking about $1,000 difference. So I was looking at semi-automatic shotguns, 20 gauge, and not Stoger. Yeah, it's a Stoger. Stoger makes their version of the Benelli M1 and M2, and it's good quality. You don't have the bragging rights of saying it's a Benelli, but it's a beautiful shotgun, beautiful wood, semi-automatic 20 gauge. But the other ones you're asking about, I have not heard of them before. 1911 smoking gun. Have you any experience with FN P12 pump shotgun? I have not. Have you? FN P12 shotgun pump?
No, I don't have any experience with it.
No.
Not heard of it.
But FN makes some good shotguns. Their semi-automatic is competitive. Winchester makes what's that one all the competition shooters shoot? It's the Winchester XL3 or XL4.
You know, I don't know, Steve. I don't.
Yeah. That's what.
Rifleman, tactical rifleman,
tactical pistol. Tactical pistol.
Rifleman.
You always say that, but you go. Let me talk about my Glock 34. You know, but Barry Duke, who is Carl's nemesis, he is Carl's Moby Dick when it comes to shooting competition. Carl takes second place this year.
Yeah.
Carl takes second place the next year.
Yeah.
Carl takes. Barry Duke is there. Carl's going to take second place.
Yeah.
Barry shoots the Winchester. I want to say the XL3, XL4, and he wins. You know, and Carl can attest to that. Hope that answers your question. 1911 smoking gun. Dust 777. Is it okay to paint shot shells so they don't glow in the dark?
Paint what?
Shot shells.
So they don't glow in the dark? How does that glow in the dark? You guys understand? I know the red looks bright against his t-shirt, but in the dark, in the white, the only reason why these right here, the only reason why that's red, guys, is because that right there is reflecting of the white light. It is reflecting the red part of that visible light spectrum. All right. The reason why the picture right here looks green is because that part of the paper is reflecting the green part of the visible light spectrum. If you're in the dark, there's no visible light. Those shotgun shells, you can't tell the color. Right. More important is get rid of the shine. Right. And everybody worries about, well, you know, that guy's got, you can see the red on his tourniquet, on his body armor. Guys, if you can see, if you're that close to me that you can see that little red dot sticking out on my tourniquet, we've probably already had a conversation at 2,600 feet per second, and I'm not too worried about you seeing my tourniquet. All right.
You know, that used to get to me because years when we went to the what was the 3-color desert pattern? Was that DCUs?
The DCU was the 3-color.
The Army came out with the DCUs. Okay, that's a 3-pattern desert. Okay,
3-color
desert. They had sleeping bags. Okay, now keep in mind, when you use a sleeping bag in the military, you use a sleeping bag cover. Okay,
Gore-Tex cover.
Yeah, the Army had sleeping bags that were DCU patterned, and when I asked the program manager about that, I said, "Can we just get this in a solid color? You know, our thing right now is just flat dark earth or ghost gray." He goes, "Well, when you're sleeping in the desert with this, the enemy can't see you as well." I said, "But we put sleeping bag covers over the sleeping bags. If I'm sleeping in a DCU pattern sleeping bag and the enemy gets close enough to tell that that's not natural ground he's about to walk up on, and my snoring hasn't attracted his attention, then I'm in a bad spot.
Yep.
I'm in a bad spot. If he's close enough to go, hey man, there's an Army Special Forces guy in a sleeping bag. You know, so I mean, at that point, it should be raining down minigun slugs. I mean, it should be cooking off. The guy that's pulling security is going to get his ass beat if he's not dead at the end of that firefight. Okay? Yep. So, guys, shifting over to what we did last week, we went over the 375 SOCOM upper receivers that we had gotten in from Southern Ballistic Research. You guys asked a lot of questions about it, and I had it as a separate upper receiver group so the YouTube Gestapo wouldn't shut us down. And I had the Ares Fight Light SCR lore with the straight rifle stock instead of AR-15 with a pistol grip. But that had a 6.8, but I had to take the 375 SOCOM upper off of the lore so I could hold it in my hands and not get shut down. Because it can't be attached, becoming a whole rifle. So tonight we have the system here that's attached and put together. So basically what you're looking at up top is a SBR, Southern Ballistic Research, and you start asking me about a website, contact, Twitter account, Instagram account. Guys, we're here to illuminate you, okay? Not to serve you. I will serve, and I will be of service. But I'm not here to serve every question that you're going to come up with, as in, I don't want to roll up off my couch to pick up my phone and go to the search engine called Google. So I'm going to ask Steve all the questions I need to know. What's the barrel twist rate? What's the muzzle twist rate? How much does the ammo cost? Blah, 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 blah. How many rounds in the magazine? Blah, 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 blah. So anyway, this is the 375 SOCOM as made by Southern Ballistic Research from Brunswick, Georgia, Glenn County. Get some. Shout out to my peeps. And this is a 375 SOCOM with the 250 grain Barnes tipped triple shot projectile on it. The platform you see here is the Southern Ballistic Research 375 SOCOM upper receiver group that we showed last week, but I had it in my hands. Now is attached to the Fight Light SCR lower receiver group, because as I said, I grew up on straight rifle stocks, back to quickly down under. I'm not saying I can't run an AR-15 with a pistol grip, but having worked decades as a long gun shooter, bolt gun shooter, and having created and run the sniper training committee on Fort Campbell for 5th Group and 101st, I feel good when I'm running a straight rifle stock. Okay? James Brown said, I feel good. So that is the platform completely assembled. The magazines are 20 round AR-15 magazines. We talked about the muzzle brakes because one of you guys had a question about linear muzzle brakes. And I think I talked about the Noveske Flaming Pig. It's one of my favorites. I talked about the Hate Brake, which we haven't had a chance to work on yet. I should have, I don't know why my brain was just off somewhere else. We should have talked about the Surefire Warden and the War Comp. Most of your linear comps are more or less one-piece systems. The Surefire Warden is a two-piece system. The War Comp, which is the flash hider compensator that Surefire makes under contract to U.S. SOCOM for the Surefire U.S. SOCOM suppressor that all our special ops forces use. I think the Army has gravitated to them also. But basically, you take the War Comp, which is the flash hider, and you can get it either flash hider with the 3-prong. They got the closed-in bird cage. They have 3-prong with the muzzle brake vents behind on the back side of the 3-prong. The Warden goes over the top of the War Comp and locks in, just like you would be putting a Surefire suppressor on a War Comp, twist lock. The Warden is a small enclosed tube that goes over the War Comp when you want reduced muzzle flash blast but you can't afford a suppressor, or you don't want the whole trouble of owning suppressors and having an ATF all up in your grill. So I run the Noveske Flaming Pig on a lot of my lever actions and semi-automatic pistols. I've also run the Surefire Warden combination on one of my 9mm carbines that take Glock magazines, but I had to have Barry Duke, Carl's Moby Dick, to take the Warcomp flash hider, which they make in 7.62, 5.56. They had to bore it out to .360 because the 9mm round is .355, and you got to save some thousandths so the bullet doesn't strike the compensator, the flash hider. So I had to bore it out for a 9mm or 357 mag, and then I had a Warcomp flash hider muzzle brake that I could take the Warden and put over the top, because even though the 3-prong flash hider, you're hiding your flash when you're shooting at night and in daytime to a certain extent, it doesn't take away that grass and dust and dirt that kicks up when you fire if you're shooting from the prone. And believe me, when you get into a two-way firefight, you're going to find the prone position a lot faster than you realize. Okay? So I've asked Noveske and Surefire to make me a 375 bore size linear muzzle brake, so we can shoot their systems on the SBR. Every time I say SBR, I always say SBR, and I say Southern Ballistic Research, just so, because I know a lot of you firearms aficionados, when somebody says SBR, the first thing you think of is short barrel rifle. So we're talking about Southern Ballistics Research, the ammunition company down in Brunswick, Georgia. Search engine, Google. To put take that horizontal muzzle brake off. You guys know how I feel about horizontal muzzle brakes, especially when you're working with somebody and they're shooting right next to you. Or if you guys have never shot in an urban environment, and you always talk about home defense, family defense, personal defense, if someone breaks in, or as I say, if something goes bump in the night and it's not your dog, I'm telling you, shooting indoors is a beast. It's a beast. It is a beast. Okay? So, linear muzzle brakes and comps push the blast forward away from the shooter. It doesn't give you as much of a horizontal fan as horizontal brakes do. You guys that have these horizontal brakes, I don't know why you have such like joy when you're shooting on the range with other people. Mr. G with your 338 Lapua Magnum with the 5 horizontal muzzle ports. Oh my gosh, you almost blew me off the top of that tower. So that is again the 375 SOCOM, and we're going to do videos for you guys real soon on the 375 SOCOM, so you can see accuracy, performance. How you guys like to do. Shoot one caliber on a piece of steel and shoot another caliber on a piece of steel. The one that goes the loudest and bang and ring, you go, that's the best. Whereas ballistic gel test is the best way to tell performance. So when we get to shoot this thing, we're gonna put it on video so you guys can shoot it. I'm probably gonna shoot it with the straight rifle stock. Then you guys that are into your pistol grip aficionados, we'll shoot it so you guys can also see it being shot with the pistol grip. One thing or another. On our show 3 weeks ago at Leatherwood Distillery, we had the Reverend Chief Warrant Officer retired Travis Rolfe on the show to give us a highlight on body armor manufacturing and body armor performance. And one of the things that came up was several of your viewers was asking about body armor, multiple hits, and, you know, I forget who it was, but it's like, hey, I heard that there's body armor out there that it could take 10 hits. And we were like, well, I don't know, man. After the first hit, you should be going to the prone, or you should be bobbing and weaving, because you don't want those other 9 coming in. And you have to keep in mind that even though that body armor material is stopping that projectile from penetrating through your skin, through your bones, your fat, chest cavity, through your organs, it's still bringing that energy. It's still bringing that energy. That's why it drives me crazy. I was watching, haven't finished watching John Wick 4, and I mean, from the first one, when the guy fitted him with this little custom 3-piece suit, till number 4 was just crazy when everybody had the suits with the body armor. The guy shoots at their face and they pull their coat up onto their face, and you can see the little sparks off the coat. Give me a fucking break, okay? Give me a fucking break, okay? That flimsy cloth, if you came up with some kind of cloth like that, that stops that projectile from penetrating into your body cavity, that is not going to stop the energy. And that's what I was trying to explain on that show when we had Travis there. And so, anyway, we're going to play you a video. This is a video of a U.S. Army soldier in Iraq. He's a medic. He's standing next to his Humvee when a Iraqi sniper shoots him with an SVD sniper rifle. Okay? Most of you guys have probably already seen this. But let me send you a reminder. Okay? So pay attention that even though armor stops the round, there's a energy transfer. Mass times velocity, people.
Airborne!
I don't think I have it. Nick! So I don't think the we don't have the video. So the maybe I can here we go. Go back to don't suppose no out of Turkey, nope. I thought we had the video. We have the Airborne video for you guys. That's cool. That's cool. Paint, shot shell. So, have you had any experience with the Mossberg Shockwave? Yes, I have. It's a good shotgun. You know, I am not a person that's into pistol grip shotguns. I mean, I've carried them in combat, but they were the we had the Remington 870s. I think they were 10-inch barrels with a pistol grip, and you know, like Carl said, they're mainly for breaching. I like them when you're driving down through some town or city or village in the Middle East in a Humvee. You know, the Humvee is so tight when you get in it. That M4 carbine or that AK-47, I think they call it the AKM, the one with the folded stock. That was my weapon of choice because it had the folded stock. And you know, I'm right here. If someone runs out of an alley with a Makarov or a Molotov cocktail, you just can't get that M4 up like you want to. So I either had an AKM or the 870 pump with the pistol grip. Mass times velocity. If you're running buckshot or slugs, you only allowing the okay, how do we do this? Go back right here. You're only allowing your wrist and your elbow to absorb the recoil from that pistol grip shotgun. It's You know, God bless you. You know, do your thing. God bless America, because you can own stuff like that. Do your thing. Okay. 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 Got that one. Got that one. Got that one. Got that one. Delta Bravo. Thanks for the shout out, brother. Thanks for the shout out. What's up? Hey, I haven't had a chance to do any research on that 6.5 Creedmoor you asked me about, the AR. Speaking of which, let me go here. Since we have the Tactical Rifleman Nation online right now, let me look this up. If any of you guys have any experience with this rifle or rifle company, performance, quality, or anything like that, let me know. Our good friend, the professor of Judo and Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, Donnie Bourne, who we refer to as Delta Bravo, has sent an inquiry wanting to know. So any of you guys out there that own one, have a friend that owns one, give us a shout and let us know so we can help Delta Bravo make a learned decision. Do the U.S. snipers tune their barrels on their precision rifles? Alan Fox. Alan, is that Alan? Okay, Alan. Alan, I don't know exactly what you mean by tune their barrels. U.S. Army snipers are issued a standard sniper rifle, which is no difference in being issued an M4A1 or M16A2 or M16A4. The U.S. Army issues one size fits all. That being said, you've got your bolt guns. You've got your I keep calling them M110s, but there's different variants. The Mark 11 and M110, different variants of your AR style precision rifles in 7.62 NATO. Then right now the current sniper rifle issue to all the U.S. SOCOM soft forces and Southern Army is the Barrett or the SOCOM Mark 22, which you know as the Barrett MRAD. But then again, it's issued. I mean, you got switch barrels. You can switch barrels, switch calibers with the Mark 22. However, tuned barrels, U.S. Army snipers don't tune barrels. I don't exactly know what you mean by tuning a barrel. They can't change the length. They can't change the twist rate.
Nope.
They can't. If something's wrong with your gun, you turn it in to the armament section. Yep. They find out that you saw something online and you tooted your gun, whatever that means. Now, my son Brian, he has these rubber donuts that he puts on everything, and it's supposed to dampen the harmonics on a firearm, whether it's an AR-15 or a precision bolt gun, and there's some truth to that. But the thing that I try to enlighten you guys with some of the knowledge that I learned from doing what I did in my previous life. You don't test things. You review or you have a user assessment. But it's so much involved if you say this rubber donut tunes the barrel, dampens the vibration, makes the gun more accurate. Based on what? Based on shooting this ammo, some other kind of ammo, the barrel length. It's so many variables that you have to go through to say you truly tested something. If I take this thing, a tuner, and I put it on my my barrel, and I shoot it at 100 yards with 308, 65 cream or whatever, okay? Then they say if it's not shooting accurate, maybe I move it forward an inch. Maybe I move it back 2 inches. You see what I'm saying? You can get caught up in too many accessories, and then you spend $3,000 on a half-minute gun. Now you got this little $2.50 rubber donut on a $3,000 gun, and you're still shooting a minute and a half. You know why? Because you can't hold a half minute. As Mr. White said, you can't hold a half minute, son. The rifle will outshoot you all day long. So just keep in mind, tuning. I have a rifle that has a muzzle brake on it, and I think a long time ago, Browning had a rifle system in both their semi-automatic BAR rifles and their bolt guns that had a system on it. It was called the BOSS, BOSS. Yep. Not only was it a muzzle brake, but it had barrel harmonics tuning where you could just dial it in. So,
and you notice it went away.
Yeah,
it went away.
Fast. Yeah, real fast.
There have been people talking about tuning barrels for 50 years. It was the latest hotness 40 years ago, and then 20 years ago. I'm not surprised to hear people talking about tuning barrels now. The reality is, guys, the accuracy of the gun is a very, very small part of a job of a military marksman. You understand, my rifle strapped to my side has to be able to go with me out of an airplane in the dark wearing an oxygen mask at 27,000 feet. And I'm not landing on a marked drop zone with lights all over it. I'm landing in the middle of the desert on an unmarked drop zone. And I'm going to hit like a sack of shit. I had a guy on my sniper team stuck the barrel of the saw through the back of his calf. Chad Kloppenstein.
Oh, hello, Chad.
Same jump. Bobby Kyle landed so hard he knocked his desert boot off of his foot. Now, it was laced all the way up. I want you to try pulling a boot off of somebody's foot with it laced up. And then you let me know how hard you think Bobby hit. The whole team was busted up. We were supposed to put 3 sniper teams on the mountain that night. It was a training op in Yuma, Arizona. We parachuted in from Dugway, Utah. And we ended up, it was me and one other guy went as my spotter to put eyes. And we got eyes on before the sun came up. We reported everything when the assault force came in. 3 days later, the other sniper teams had gotten in a position. But my whole reason for saying that is being able to shoot accurately and support the assault force coming in, or to take out that target of opportunity, such a small part of the whole equation for a military sniper or a special operations marksman at all. Small part of that whole equation. All right, guys. Steve, you're welcome.
Let me jump in real quick.
Okay.
Susan is departing from us tonight, and we're going to holler out an Aussie, Aussie, Aussie to Miss Susan Britcher, and thank you for your support. It's always good, and it uplifts me when we start the show and I can see Susan's logged in. I know the shit's going to get right. Get right and get tight.
We actually.
So you guys be safe out there.
One more. Carl, what's up, my brother? This from Donnie Bone.
Yeah, already.
Hope you are healing well. Donnie, thanks for visiting with Steve. Steve always sends out whenever we're doing a live stream, he says, "Hey, we're live." Steve sends it out there. I don't even know how he does it. Steve sends these little clips and shit, and he lets.
I'll tell you.
I don't know, dude. I don't know, because I'm always the one sitting here. I don't ever have to do it.
I couldn't do it without Nick's help, because for some reason
he does a good job. Yeah.
Every time we start, I go to YouTube and put it in and say, oh, that's one of the old ones. I can't find the one that I just send me the link, and then boom, like 5 seconds later, he's got it. So,
All right.
yeah, I hope that we did good by every one of you in the Tactical Rifleman Nation, tactical pistol and shotguns, and
Tactical Rifleman.
be well,
Tactical
be
shotgun,
safe
man.
out there, okay? And if you can't be safe, be dangerous.
There you go. That's fair. All right, guys. I got a couple administrative notes I want to talk about real quick. Can you come back next Tuesday? I mean, next Monday?
Monday. Yeah.
Guys, live stream next week is going to be Monday because Tuesday is Independence Day. And I'm going to be here, but I'm going to be on the other side of that wall. And in my man room, we normally here at this time of night on Independence Day, we'll have 150, 200 people here. I have 600, maybe 700 pounds of fireworks, big mortars, and big mortars. We're doing nothing fancy. We're doing hot dogs and bags of chips and lots of drinks and stuff. But Emery is taking the whole crew out. They're going to depart here at 10 a.m. They're going kayaking. They're going to go down where we do Operation Valkyrie, Underground River, big picnic out there. I can't go because I just had my knee surgery. So I'm going to be staying back here by the pool and hanging out. We might grill some rack of lamb or something. I don't know.
We know Big Al's. If Big Al is here, it's going to be some grilling going on.
There's going to be some grilling. But anyways, guys, I encourage you to celebrate Independence Day. Even those of you that are not in America, you're out, whether it's Australia. We got people here from Great Britain right now. A couple other countries have chimed in.
Are you other ones that live out there on the left coast called California?
Yeah. If you're behind enemy lines,
move away.
Doesn't matter. Just celebrate with us. Because this country is America is what keeping the rest. That's the only reason why you have free trade on the rest of the planet is because the U.S. Army, ever since World War II, has secured the seas. It used to be empires, and if you weren't part of that empire, you weren't getting those trade goods. And all these little countries, the only reason why all these little countries have grown is because the Americans have enforced free trade on the open oceans, and the whole planet needs to thank America. And unfortunately, it's the American libtards and the young generations that are being taught that we are the devil on the planet and that we're terrible people. And I'm a white supremacist for being white. Steve's a white supremacist for being black. No, guys, we're not. Me and Steve, we're both green. In the army, me and Steve, we're both
shoot
green.
That thing,
right? Yeah.
This thing is killing me.
Yeah, these people screaming all this shit. They're all a bunch of idiots.
Can't shoot up there. I might hit you. But shoot up here amongst us. One of us got to have some relief.
All right, so what we're going to do, we're going to do this live stream Monday night. Next Monday, it's going to be
3 of July.
Military Monday live stream. It's going to be night of the 3rd. Here's the cool part. We are going to have Sue LaRue here. No, I'm sorry. Sue won't be here until the 4th. We'll have Angry American. We will have Emery Morgenstern. We're going to have Rawson Herstoff. We're gonna have a bunch of
crew.
We're gonna have a bunch of
the
guys
TR
here,
crew.
so that's good because my knee needs a break. And this way, Steve can have a break. You can go slip out, and we can go hit the bar out back. All right.
To give you guys a sneak preview, next week, Monday, July the 3rd, for what we're going to cover, we're going to have an Aries Defense Shrike belt-fed 5.56 upper group system.
Drop on any AR.
Link belt-fed. We're going to have it right here.
It can be full auto.
That depends on your lower.
Oh, so
Remember, if you have a Class 3 lower, you drop it on, you full auto.
I might be able to come up with one of them. I don't personally have a full auto lower, but I might be able to get a guy that would make such a good video. Ooh. My knee's screaming. All right, guys, if I can get some forethought and maybe if me and Nick have got time to put it together, We might do the live stream out around the fire pit so I can get more people on screen at the same time.
I think that's
that
the way
would
to
be
do it.
cool. Yeah. We'll see. More to follow on that. But yeah, it's going to be awesome because it's not going to be the usual Tuesday. We'll see you guys. We'll see you guys here next time. Right? It's going to be awesome indeed. Parting words of wisdom from Steve Holland.
Parting words of wisdom. Stay on the path. Stay on the true path. Trust in God. Love America. Love your family and friends. We are diverse. We all need each other. There's some really crazy, stupid, evil people out there that would rather rule a nation of ashes if they can't rule anything at all. And the only thing that's keeping them from ruling a nation of ashes is people like us, Tactical Rifleman Nation. Okay? The path of the righteous man is beset on all sides by the inequities of the selfish.
You're going to do the whole
and
thing?
the tyranny of evil libtards. Blessed is he or she who, in the name of charity
and
goodwill, shepherds the weak through the valley of darkness. For he or she is truly a brother and sister's keeper and the finder of lost children. And he will strike down upon you with great vengeance and furious anger. Those of you who are attempting, not will attempt, you are attempting to destroy this nation. And you know his name is God when he brings his vengeance upon you.
All right, on that note, y'all take care and shoot straight.
Incoming right there.